Welcome, everyone. Welcome back. It is Thursday night, and thank you for showing up. So welcome, everyone, to the fundamentals to gain inner peace. We're doing tonight class number 80, and that's very exciting. We're in the middle of discussing how to find some quiet time, stillness, just being in the quiet, slow, things slow down. See what comes up. We discussed the past 2 weeks. And in Menachem tonight, we'll continue with a little bit of an experience with meditation so that you can see what comes up to actually experience what we're talking about. That's why it's always good to practice. So before we start, I would like to thank our sponsor tonight, OK Clarity. OKClarity.com is the place to find the top-notch therapist, coach, and nutritionist. Their professionals are vetted and have extensive experience working with the Jewish community. If you're in the market for a therapist, coach, or the like, or if you are a wellness professional looking to get more exposure, online exposure, go check them out, OKClarity.com. They also have a WhatsApp group, which you can join, and it's very affirmative, a lot of information, and especially for mental health. The number is 917-426-1495. That's 917-426-1495. Okay, so how are we? How are we doing? Let's get grounded. Just become aware of where you are and where you're coming from. What did your day look like? How did you manage to show up tonight? Become aware of your surroundings. Are you in a quiet place or maybe driving? And then we go inwards. See how we feel in our body. Do I feel stressed, overwhelmed? Where do I feel it? My head, jaws, arms, maybe the stomach, the feet. Just become aware of actually touching and getting in touch with how your body feels. You might not know why it feels that way, but just to be aware. Very good. So here we are. So the last 2 weeks, we were discussing the skill, how to cultivate the skill of stillness. The 5 reasons why it might be hard for many people to stop. And I'm wondering if you've tried, if you practiced, if you sat down for a few minutes to see what comes up. You can share it in the chat. Let me know if you tried and if anything came up. So what we discussed, the 5 reasons why it might be hard for many people to slow down, to get to a calmer place, more still. So number 1 was the fear of the unknown. If you haven't done it before and you're doing something new, you don't know what's going to come up. You don't know what it looks like. So that itself, to stay there, to sit in that space, could be hard. So like we mentioned, the practice, you could start with a minute. Put on a timer in a quiet place and close your eyes and wait till the timer rings. You might, in your mind, you might be thinking, okay, no, when is it ringing? So if that's what happens, just become aware. But you're not moving. You're staying in one place and you're just waiting for the timer to ring. If you can do it for 2 minutes, beautiful. So that's number 1, the fear of the unknown. Number 2 is uncomfortable thoughts and emotions that can come up. And like we mentioned, that's probably the reason why, all the other reasons why we don't want to stop. Because if we do stop, we do slow down, we do become aware, become in touch, then we start hearing our thoughts and our emotions come up. And those things can be hard for people if we're not in touch, if we've never dealt with it, never been there. There might be a reason why you want to continue in that space of just being busy. And there's a reason behind it. And part of this work is to find out what's the reason behind it. Why is it so hard for me to just take some time off? Why is it so hard to relax? And when I do relax, why do I have to be on my phone? Why can't I just sit and do nothing? You become aware. What's that thought? Sitting and doing nothing? Who knows? Failure, unproductive, whatever comes up. So that's the uncomfortable thoughts and emotions. Another reason is loneliness. You start feeling all alone, being in the room by yourself. And I don't let you look at your phone or in a book or read anything. Just to be there and just breathe. You start becoming very lonely. Okay? Just become aware of that. The next one is addiction to stimulus, the stimulation. We're so addicted to things happening 24/7 that when we stop, it's very uncomfortable. We have to continue in that, the noise, the constant noise, whatever it is, whether it's external or internal, just constant noise. We're so used to it. So that when we stop, automatically we're uncomfortable. So that's an awareness, just become aware. And the last one we mentioned was fear of missing out. What's going on in the world? What am I missing? So if I have my phone with me, I can always look every few minutes just to make sure that I'm not missing anything. And if I'm not with my phone, you feel that lack, like maybe there's so much going on and I'm not part of it. What am I missing out? So these are the 5 reasons why it might be hard. So try it out. Give yourself permission to do nothing for a few minutes and become aware of what comes up. Just become aware. Then we discussed 5 techniques. What are 5 things you can do to help you calm down, find that quiet space? And we discussed mindful breathing, just focusing on your breath. Find a quiet place and just focus. Breath in and out. That's it. You're aware of the breath going in and out. Meditation, for those who have been here or practice a little bit of meditation. It's a similar idea. It's just sitting quiet. And even though there is a lot of noise in your mind, but you can observe, you don't get caught up. So practicing a few minutes meditation helps. Connecting to nature. Sitting on grass. Walking in a park. Walking outside, just not because you have to go somewhere, just taking a walk. You hear the birds. You feel the fresh air. You hear the leaves. You feel what you're stepping on, maybe some pebbles or rocks or sticks, or maybe it's a sidewalk. You're aware of where you are, and you're just connecting to the nature. You're walking in nature. That could help you calm down. Digital detox. If you can find a few minutes a day where you close all your digital devices, whatever it is, you put it away for a few minutes. That helps. Again, it could be hard, but if you can do that, automatically things calm down. It might be hard while, the first minute or two, but if you can push through. So first you become aware of why it's so hard. What's that urge? whether it's loneliness, missing out, whatever it is, become aware of what's the urge, and then continue. And after a few minutes, you can feel okay with not knowing what's going on, with not being connected, whatever digital devices you have. And the last one is journaling. Find some time to journal. Journaling means nothing in particular, whatever comes up. You find a few minutes every day where you sit down and you say, hello, here I am. Let me tell you what's going on. And you just write whatever comes on your mind, whatever comes up, just continue writing 2-3 minutes, and then you can close it. By doing that, it helps get thoughts on paper and you feel more relaxed. Last week, we ended off with a exercise to stretch. Mindful stretching. Just stretch your arms, your legs, whatever it is, slowly. As much as possible, feel that tension and then let go. And that also helps you feel the tension and then you can let go. So those are a few reasons why it's hard for people to stop, and a few techniques, what could help you to be able to get into that space. But before practicing stillness, we have to learn how to create a space so that whatever comes up, we can still stay there. So how do we create a space around you? So I'll give you an example. When you're talking to somebody, usually when you have a conversation, so you're listening to the other person, then thoughts come up, you share your thoughts, and then they share theirs, and it goes back and forth. Sometimes you're not really listening to the other person. You're busy thinking of the thoughts that came up while they were sharing. You're thinking about what's coming up for you, and then you say, no, by me, it wasn't like that. Or let me tell you what happened by me, why, and then they're talking about themselves, you're talking about you. Sometimes there's no connection. But to create a space to understand the other person is an effective listening skill, like we discussed, to listen. You're listening to somebody saying something that might not fit with the way you think. You might think, why don't they do something different? Why don't they take care of it? Whatever it is. But you're creating that space to say, let me put myself on the side, let me listen. Imagine a good friend comes over to you and shares something personal. And, you might think, I'm not sure why, or why she's doing it, why they're doing it that way, why don't they do it different. But you tell yourself, listen, now's my time to just listen to them and be there for them. So that's creating that safe space so that whatever comes up, you're not running away from it. You're not changing it. So the same thing we have to do over here. Create that space before you sit down in a quiet place and you're ready to spend some time doing nothing. Obviously, things are going to come up. When something comes up, just be there and listen what comes up. What's going on? Why is it so hard for me to sit here? Why is it so uncomfortable? What's my urge? What is the urge pushing me? So that's creating that space. Another thing before we start practicing a few minutes of stillness, of quiet time, is you don't have to come in with the intention that you're going to change things. Obviously, things are going to come up. And it might be hard for you. You're going to face certain things in your life that you don't like, and you would want to change it. And it's hard. Change is hard. I don't want to think about it. So that's not what we're doing. Change, maybe a different time. But for now, while you're sitting in that space, in that quiet space, and things come up, You might face certain things in your life, certain areas in your life that are uncomfortable, that are not working out, that are challenging. It might be with your kids, maybe at work, maybe with your spouse. And we're facing things that very hard. You might not know what to do. You can't change it. It bothers you. You don't want to face it. And that could be another reason why you're keeping yourself busy, constantly busy, being part of the rat race every day, in and out. Because when I stop, these things come up, things in my life that are uncomfortable, that are challenging, and there's nothing I can do about it. Or maybe there is, but for now, you don't have to change anything. And being able to face those challenges, to say, yeah, that's an area of my life that's very uncomfortable, that I don't like, that's not working out. I have to figure something out, but I'm still okay. So that means being there for yourself while things are not perfect, while you're actually facing challenges in life. Or even one challenge, something comes up, one area in your life which it's very hard for you to think about it because it's just not working out. You're having a challenge with your child and you've done everything. You tried and it's just not working out. So you don't know what to do. So it's painful. So if you're going to stop, spend some time in that stillness, in that quiet space, slowing things down, that's probably going to come up. All your thoughts and all the emotions that are really going on are going to come up. Now, if I need to fix it, I don't want to think about it. But if I can be okay with myself, even though it's not perfect, even though I don't like it, I can be there for myself, hold my hands, and just sit there. Yes, it is sometimes sitting in that uncomfortable space, and that's part of it. We become aware of our emotions, become aware of our thoughts, become aware of positive and negative. But they do come up, and we're not looking for change now. Something challenging comes up. If you want, you can write it down on a piece of paper. This is challenging for me. That's it. And I don't like it. That's it. We're not changing now. Something else comes up, write it down. So you have a list of things that are challenging. Beautiful. That's it. Stay there. Breathe. You're still okay, even with all the challenges. So now picture yourself. A mother is on the phone, speaking, having a conversation. And she's holding her baby in her arms with a pacifier, maybe after it cries for a while and now it's quiet and it's just calm, sitting in the mother's arms. And the mother's having a conversation on the phone. What state would you say is that child in? It's comfortable, taken care of, relaxed. It's in the best place it could be. Even though the mother is on the phone having a conversation. Doesn't bother the child. Might be noisy, but it's fine. So we have to imagine that we're that child. And our mind is that phone conversation. So if you're that little child, just in a comfortable place, being taken care of, has everything they need, even though there are conversations happening. So when we practice sitting down in stillness, spending some time doing nothing, that's what happens. Our mind, there's so much going on, and we're connected to it. It doesn't let us stay there. So it might be easier for that child to be relaxed because it doesn't connect with the conversation, because it doesn't understand. But it hears the noise, doesn't understand, so it's fine. I'm not talking about me. It doesn't understand. But us, when we hear our mind, it's talking about us. And not only it's talking about us, it is us. So we get caught up. So it takes practice to be able to imagine yourself in that quiet space like the baby. And yes, you do understand the conversation. But I'm not getting caught up. I don't want to get caught up in the conversation. I'm just going to observe it. So you're there, calm, taken care of. Everything you need, you have, make sure you're in a calm place. And while your thoughts in your mind are racing, you can observe it. So, are you ready to slow down? Slow down to be in a relaxed state, and we're going to do a few minutes meditation. Before listening to this conversation, you should make sure that you are in a relaxed state physically, just relaxed, no kids around, nobody's coming in, knocking on your door. You have a few minutes for yourself. And then you can get to that relaxed state. If you're listening to this on the recording, just be aware of how you got here. If you're not in relaxed states, so just first make sure you're in a calm environment. You can spend some time there so that you can get into deeper, relaxed states. And again, for beginners, it might be hard. It might be irritating to stop. But that itself is an awareness. Become aware, just breathe, become aware. Observe the irritation. When you feel you want to continue, I don't want to stay here. Observe that. You don't have to get up. You're okay. And observe. Okay, so let's get started. Find a quiet, comfortable place where you can sit and you won't be disturbed. Close your eyes and take a few deep breaths in and out. Relax your body and your mind. Another deep breath. You can start feeling sensations, maybe. Just keep on breathing. Bring your attention to the ear, to your breath going in and out. Feel the natural rhythm of your breath as you inhale and exhale. Notice the sensations of your breath entering and leaving your body. As you continue to breathe, imagine that with each inhalation, you're drawing in a sense of peace and stillness. Try to visualize peacefulness, stillness. As thoughts arise, acknowledge them without judgment. Just observe the thoughts and gently let them go. Return your focus to the sensation of your breath and the feeling of stillness within. Now shift your attention to your physical body. Start from the top of your head and slowly Scan down to your toes, observing any areas of tension or discomfort. And as you notice these sensations, allow them to soften and release. Feel your body becoming more and more relaxed and at ease. Now expand your awareness to the space around you. Notice any sounds, whether they're nearby or distant. Instead of resisting or trying to block, try to block out these.
What? What are you trying to block?
Sorry. Sorry about that. Now expand your awareness to the space you're around. Notice any sounds, whether they're nearby or distant. Instead of resisting or trying to block out these sounds, simply observe them without attachment. Allow them to be part of the present moment. As you continue to sit in stillness, bring your attention to the present moment. Let go of any thoughts about the past or the future. Allow yourself to fully immerse in the present, embracing the stillness that exists here and now. Take a moment to appreciate the stillness within and around you. Feel the peace and tranquility that arises from this moment of presence. Allow yourself to feel it in your whole body. And if you're listening to the recording, you can pause and stay here as long as you want. But for now, when you're ready to conclude, take a few deep breaths and gently start wiggling your fingers and toes. Slowly bring your awareness back to your surroundings. You can open your eyes and take a moment to reflect on your experience, how you feel. And that's it for now. Just become aware of that a little bit calmer. And that's what we're talking about. Slowly slowing down and spending some time just being. And even though there might be noise in your mind, or like we had over here, some noise, we can observe and continue. Not to get caught up, just observe and then let it go. Okay, so that was beautiful. Thank you so much. So let me know. You can always send me an email, coachmenachem@gmail.com. Let me know what comes up when you practice these ideas. And if you have any questions, you can also ask coachmenachem@gmail.com. All the recordings of the past 79 episodes are available on menachembernfeld.com. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. And if it's Hashem, I'll see you next week on Wednesday night, 9 o'clock. Have a good night. Thank you.
Shabbos.
Go ahead.